Hello, ladies and Germans, how you all doing? This is Con Ulrich.
Ringroo, low, low, low.
And folks, we saw Tali Ihantala last week, and we thought it was just so gorgeous that we had to come back here again to cover some more monthly tournament. Ryan, who do we have today duking it out, and what is that beautiful new flag I see?
On the left hand side in the blue, we have the Rikis Hungary enjoyer, otherwise known as Fantyx, playing the 25th Hungarian something infantry division with a Juggernaut income. Right hand side in red, we have her Robert playing 17th SS with a balanced income.
So you have kind of quipped that this Hungarian division over here is Hartelek. Would you care to go a little bit more into that?
Yeah, it's just basically like Tartalek, but with some better stuff, like Panthers and, well, a lot of artillery, and also captured Su-85s. It's pretty alright division, I'd have to say.
I like how you kind of soft sell it. It's an alright division
Yeah.
with terrifying amounts of awesome equipment.
And the Zerini, which is like cool. It's like a stew, but Hungarian.
This is true.
Yeah.
This is very, very true.
Yeah, it's stuff.
It's just it's just random stuff too, which is the great part. Now, I will say, I'm gonna tell the folks at home right now, I'm going to very much just kind of call things like the current one right now. Lots of Heggies on the map. I will abuse Hungarian enough. I'm not gonna try to do it any longer. So let's just stick with what it is.
Yeah, but else Heggies are pushing on through now. Pretty awesome infantry edition. Decent CQC firepower, and of course Molotov cocktails. So, and the Raider trait as well goes pretty hard. Oh, Duca doing its actually loop-to-loop dive. I do like seeing that. We're seeing off-map as well. So, a very heavy opener from both sides, trying to take a central position.
Well, the one I was being dropped is gonna, I think, arrest the initial push through here. Not easily, mind you, but at least a little bit. Um, One thing I will say feels a little underpowered is their air power. Like you're looking at the fighter planes for them. Dual 12-7s in their interceptor. Yikes.
Yeah, not great.
Yikes. But hey, Lovchus is over here with the 25Gs. They're kind of trying to engage. We have, of course, that Azrini that you were talking about is starting to kind of engage material as well. But the 105's not doing quite so much as I would have expected.
Yeah, Men's going to catch a few things out in the open, but her Robert has been able to get a very light foothold into that town, which is all important, because for Robert's sake, if he can capture the town and then set up decent amount of infantry presence in the forest surrounding it, he can pretty much lock down the center. It's hard to really do anything apart from that, apart from pushing up north a bit to capture a few flags, but it's really all you can do as an infantry heavy division.
Very, very true. Besides, Hetzer in the center, Pack 40, Zerini. I mean, there's between the three of those things right there. At least if you can stop the push, that's the important idea for now.
I do very much like that Pack 40 placement. It has a very limited line of sight, but a very important line of sight because it just deters anything coming into that town. Good ambush.
That's and that's a very, very good point to kind of bring up. And this is something I think we don't always talk about. I think new players, they try to put this idea where it's like, okay, I want to give myself the greatest line of sight possible, cover a lot of territory. Then you realize that covering all that territory means that people can shoot you from all that territory as well.
Yes.
Also,
Also,
very much. Yes, please.
but also as well, what happens is that let's say you have an anti-tank gun, which only has 1500 meter range. You do not need to expose it most of the time to see large than 1500 meters. If you can just place it in the forest where you can only shoot targets at 1500 meters, that's usually better from a micro perspective. I mean, sometimes you want to have longer range, you can see stuff a bit for recon, but that's what your recon infantry's for.
Exactly. PBI is meant to take hits. That's the entire point of them.
Mm-hmm.
But in the center, we are seeing is a 14-10 because the 50-yard line has been given up by the Hungarians, at least for right now. Peggies and Lovies are coming on in, so he, definitely going to kind of take this back, but it's going to be, I think, a difficult sell. Not a no sell, but a pretty tough sell.
I think both sides are going to be playing with a lot of blood to be able to take any territory. I mean, down south we've got Legionaries pushing on through, and both sides have some tremendous amount of infantry available to them. So, I think Hungarians have a slight advantage, because once again, beefy infantry squads, and I think I get a little bit more of the better specialized CQC dudes. But it's gonna get bloody. I'm actually curious to see. Yeah, I mean, we got neighbor Earthers, Robert. We got a decent amount of heavy artillery from Fantyx. It's gonna get honestly quite explosive.
It could. It could, and that's the kind of question, isn't it? Is that how long will it be before there's some crazy kind of artillery play? And for my guessing right here, I would say it's not going to be an A. We might see the 149 over here from the Hungarians. We already saw the off map, but we're not going to see anything kind of like a crazy explosive play. I think at this point the Hungarians are biding their time. They're waiting for the Russians to go the other direction and to kind of flip the script and say, okay, time for us to go to Berlin on holiday. I don't see them making a crazy push here. Maybe just to stabilize, and that's about it.
We've seen Stukas actually getting some good hits. It'd probably be in Fantyx's best interest to start investing in those 40 mils to detail Stukas any further. But no, like you said, it's probably gonna rate a little bit later, and also because this map is it's a pretty choke pointy map, while not being a choke pointy map. Heavy artillery can definitely pave your way quite effectively. Especially if that artillery is coming from off the map with being the 105, being brought in once again to try to tear this second wave of angry Germans.
I'm of two minds on this. I've got a ton of infantry, got a couple of heavy machine guns. I'm not sure that I really put that there. That feels like a bit of a wasted opportunity.
Yeah. You want to kind of wait for like an emergency. I think especially he's used like what, 1 of 2, 3 charges?
Two. He's used 2 already.
Yeah. You really want to save that last charge, especially for an airplane one for a big bloody blob which is coming your way, not just a few dudes.
Or to say, hey, you know what? I know that I have troops like in that forest, for example. For me, that second one should have gone on. Let's say, how do I call this? That roughly parallelogram shape with the 2 MGs, the Pack 40, and the mortar. Like, I've got to know that thing's a fortress.
Yep.
So you drop it there and you suppress, and then as that's coming in, you send the guys in. But
exactly.
Yeah.
We're all seeing Fantyx here try to clear out that forest north of the town, which is definitely his best bet. He comes in through the forest, he can get into the town, and then try to secure it, maybe capture that 1 flag on the road, yeah. Especially if his infantry heavy division secure the forest is really the best thing he can do. I would say he can get some anti-tank guns in there, but he frankly doesn't have a whole lot. More of his anti-tank is self-propelled, so to speak.
True. That's true. Now you see right there, like you said, the 40 mil? 40 might send the Ju-87 away, still with its bombs on. I mean, that's what you need.
Yeah.
Now, as we are waiting and people are taking their collective breath over here, we're going over to Phase B. And taking a look at the game state of the map, there's this one dude up in an Airbnb in the northern side of the map. He's just chilling. Ain't nobody coming his direction.
Hopefully no one bombs him, otherwise he's going to have to pay a ridiculous cleaning fee.
You know, you're absolutely right. Next time he should have stayed with Verbo. The center, well, this is where all the action is. Down south, I mean, there was a little bit of going on, but the Death's Heads apparently said to themselves, you know what? Maybe we're really not feeling that fanatical about our push, which is kind of a very interesting thought.
Yeah,
but a good one.
The southern push is always hard to do because it is very choke pointy. So neither side is really too, committed to pushing it. Usually, the person left, in this case Fantyx, has a bit of a better chime down south, as it does start to widen out quite a bit when you do push from that perspective. While the opposite way, you have this, annoying body of water, which is not good.
And without any Schwimmenwagens or, Deuce and a half that can swim, or, the little, weird Higgins Jeep things that you see for some of the American divisions, this map is kind of a hassle.
Yeah, no, this map has, a very good niche use, or I should say, the divisions with the aquatic tanks, which are all the ration front runs, have a very good niche use on this map, because you can actually make them work.
Yeah, like that northern flank, for example. There's that one dude up top, you kind of draw his attention to the south, and you sweep a company of tanks to the north, and it's like, wait a second, that was not supposed to be passable. And they're like, yes, I said that about the Ardennes as well, and look what happened there. So we are seeing another prepared push over here. A couple more squads of Heggies being brought on in. And just kind of get a closer look at this. Beautiful submachine gun, 100 meters. So, of course, very, very in close, but really, really solid. You of course have that the M&S over here, the 45M. I'm sorry, the 43M, and a light machine gun. Only thing I think I would like to see from them is maybe getting a second light machine gun, but that's just me being picky.
And that submachine gun they have is really bloody good because it has 75% accuracy, when compared to an MP40, only 45% accuracy. So they really do tear up in CQC.
Very, very true. Now, the 149 is on the field. We are to phase B here. Actually, wait a second. Tons of Ju-87s desperate
Oh.
to go and engage that force position. So the kidney is going to be hit by somebody. Ooh, engine stalling. The last one to get a couple shots off to really make that. Yep, that guy's getting picked off. That's one. The one here, Focke-Wulf, can come in for a second? No.
And that's why you don't use Stukas in 1944.
No. No, you do not. There's just certainly a reason for that. But it is still 14-10, so here Robert does still have the advantage. And Fantyx, well, I think he's gearing up for a delicate push. Not a big one, mind you, but again, he still is down technically in the eco.
Yeah, I mean, both sides, the more slower, steadier, balanced, less Maverick, Juggernaut. Maverick would be quite different. Juggernaut incomes with more slower, steadier divisions, so it's really just, small bite and hold strategies here. But for her, Robert, with his geographical position, I'm actually still quite impressed he's managed to hold on to that central town, because he doesn't really have a whole lot of fire support surrounding it. It just seemed, I guess the Pack 40. Yeah, that Pack 40's in a really good spot, I forget.
I agree with you for the moment. I'm also I was just watching this Volksdeutsche push down south, that the numbers of them with the HMG kind of really supporting that, they are going to take that kind of south central lake, which is nice. It's good. It's good property. Sure, if you can build a house there, raise a family, it's a really kind of a great place to kind of grow up. Once you clear the dead bodies.
Yeah. Yeah, those are just fertilizer. You can just use them for your garden.
I said that at one point to my mother about Waterloo, and I was like, no, Waterloo, after the battle, they had the greatest crop they had in years. Mom's like, wait, why? And I thought to myself, this is a conversation I'm having with my mother. Maybe I should stop this. She's going to start to ask questions.
Yeah. What do you do in your spare time? God.
And that was my 6th birthday. But here, Robert, in the meantime, he's getting a little bit more and a little bit more and a little bit more of an advantage over here. And you got to worry over here for the Hungarians, because the Hungarians need to start being aggressive. They're getting a couple of small losses here and there, and those are going to start to really add up.
Yeah, and her Robert is setting up a very effective defensive line. He's got Marders, IG-33s, AT guns all over the place. And really for Fantyx, I'm guessing his best bet is to start getting the artillery spam out, which is what he is doing. He does have two 149s out on the field. So they need to start blasting, preferably the enemy.
True. That's very, very true. It's like, okay, guys, we should really inspire our troops to continue running forwards. I know, shell them. And we keep coming on in. Picks up the IG-33, so he's hit a couple support positions here. Does have to be careful because there's a couple more 37 mils being brought on in. But I think we're going to see that infantry push in the forest. I think this is that push to take out the town.
Yeah.
I'd keep an eye on this. Mm-hmm.
This is a huge amount of infantry in standby, ready to go. And by hitting the town from the north to the south, I believe it does give him good cover, so the Marders and machine guns can't completely lay into him.
I'm sorry, I was listening to the whistle going tweet, tweet. All these guys go racing forwards. Meanwhile, of course, I think the officer is actually just hanging on behind. Yeah, actually, there's one officer in there, and he's just chilling. Everybody else is running on past him to assault the town.
Well, he's not attacking the town directly. I don't like his. He's trying to capture the rest of the forest, which I understand, but he doesn't have any anti-tank. So what's going to happen? He's going to poke the edge of the forest, and then get, machine gun down by the Marders, and also the machine gun fire support. He really just needs to capture the flag, so to speak. He's okay. He's got like a second smaller force.
I don't like that. I don't like that at all.
Unload.
There you go. That was lucky. That can get really awful otherwise. The other one gets abused. Wow. But I think he's going to take it. He's going to take like 60% casualties for it, but I think he can take the town.
Yeah. And we also have the Haggies down south, providing some long-range machine gun fights. Well, not super effective, but it's something at least. So, yeah, Fantyx should be able to catch this. For sure, bring it back to a 12-12, but he's down quite a lot of points, and, you know, in these balanced Juggernaut matches, it can be a little bit hard to bounce back.
It can. It can, but that's why you're the Juggernaut. I mean, you got to go and you're just building up that momentum, and once you get started, no one's going to stop you. So, I mean, that works out after a fashion, right?
Yeah, just need a lot of troops. I'd really like to see Fantyx try to commit to a southern push. Because once again, if he manages to get past the initial choke point, the territory does expand quite a bit for him.
Well, I did see him just take out one of 37 mil pop guns in the center. And artillery is engaging in different positions over here. In fact, it's going... looking for the arterial. So he's going to miss the arterial by a little bit. But he's got just enough firepower there, I think, to push back all of that infantry. Well, push it back or force it to surrender. Either way, it kind of counts. So.
Yeah. I mean, I have seen that first neighbor Alpha 42 fire its barrage up north, trying to get a few hits. But frankly, he really should have fired out down in the center here to deter his push. He probably could have got a lot of very good kills. He's got, okay, I'd say the second one, but no, he just loaded it back into the truck and relocating it, which is a good move. You want to be doing that with your expensive artillery pieces.
Exactly. Exactly. Otherwise, you're going to lose 1,800 millimeters of just, you know, punchy goodness. And that's going to be to a single well-placed shell. Actually surprised we haven't seen a retasking of that already. Martyrs, in the meantime, they're fortunate by this Rini and the 149s, excuse me. I suppose it's 150s. Just continuing to pound that roadside. Nothing really kind of going on there.
I'm very curious about her Robert's northern push here. He's definitely making the Volkdeutsch a very disheartened, I would say, making them push through a bloody open field for kilometers on end with not a whole lot of fire support. However, this could actually work quite well, because there's really not a whole lot here to stop his push.
Exactly. In fact, there might be really no one here to stop this push, so that's quite successful. The Flammenwerfer actually in that town forcing infantry surrender, which is kind of embarrassing, because it's one dude with flamethrower, which, don't get me wrong, I'd probably surrender too. But, yeah, you got him outnumbered like 7-1.
I just imagine it's like the Pyro from Team Fortress 2 is in that building. Anyone comes in, dead.
That's true, but at the same time, I also think about the Pyro just like playing on a piano too for his taunt. So
TF2 is like some of like the best taunts, like some of the best like user skins as well. And it was like one of the first games to really do it.
And they did it the correct way too. Like, if you actually bought one of those skins, you actually got something for it. It wasn't just the fact you were getting some cosmetic BS. JUD7, oh, doesn't get his bombs off. He was so close to nailing that Pack 40.
You'd think, you know, you're on the loop-to-loop and you're on the downward spiral and you get panicked. Maybe accidentally, just somewhat you hit the bomb button, you know? Just maybe on an accident. If you're gonna get panicked, you might as well just, you know, drop your bomb and see where it'll land.
Exactly. Exactly. At this point, he does go down. Actually, is that the last one over there? 1, 2, 3. Yeah, all three of them are dead over here for the 17th. So, they're definitely a nice little kill shot in the meantime. Volkdeutsch over here, like you said, continuing their push. Gotta watch out. Those guys still do have Panzerfausts, and they're not afraid to use them. They're just very afraid of everything else as well.
Yeah, Fantyx has been able to set up a good defensive line in the forest here, and now with the infantry actually in position, those Volkdeutsch are going to get pushed back quite heavily, so that's a pretty good retasking of Fantyx's forces. The real question is, like, where does he go now? He can kind of contest the flag up north and the crossroad to try to make it a 12-12. Apart from that, he's going to either push center or down south, and both of those can be costly.
I feel like road junctures are where he wants to be looking. So yeah, that juncture right there, the T intersection to the northeast of that. I don't think that town is really the best place for him to go at this point. But 1311, that Volkdeutsch is hanging out to dry in the middle of the road, so that guy's going to get absolutely pounded, and there he goes. But, oh, sweet child of mine, I don't know where that next push is. I think you're absolutely correct to say, where do we go from here?
Yeah, he does have like the two heavy artillery pieces out and about, fire and array. So he can start softening up the central position where the Martyrs are, and he is getting some damn good hits on those flat guns. Oh, neighbor for firing, but he's doing a very northern strike. Once again, I don't really know what he's trying to. I guess he's trying to counter battery the Pac 40, which I get. But I'm still curious why he hasn't done a big strike on the infantry blobs in the center here.
Or at least you know that there's artillery coming. Force a movement. Get the area over there. Like, if you have enough spread that you can deny several hundred meters square, you might as well do it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the Zarini's fire there. Slow pitch softball shots. Somehow nailing a half track 100 meters behind it. And in the meantime, Flak 37 starting to get picked on off. Yeah, I don't know. We're into phase C. So theoretically, both these guys should be at the top of their game. But I feel like this is when the Hungarians are going to continue to just wake up.
Yeah, I mean, we're really starting to see it now, just all this heavy armor, well, I'd say heavy armor, but armored vehicles being invested in. And just looking at the armor disparity, I mean, Fantyx is Jagdpanzers, Zarinis. Okay, that's really it. While on her Robert side, it really just has a few Martyrs, and those Martyrs are rather thin-skinned. They really can't take an insult, let alone a 100mm shell.
Point. I mean, they want to die for the cause. Otherwise, they wouldn't be called martyrs. So, ooh, the second naval has been brought on out here too. Fascinating part for this. He's tasking to the northern. Okay, at least he's sending a concentration of troops, but artillery is starting to kind of get drummed up in that area by the 149. So see if the shells get out in time. I think he's just gonna barely be able to make it unless that round falls long.
We're seeing a heavy investment to Martyrs and one Stug from her Rob, and frankly I think from Robert's perspective, he really just needs to be investing more in the Stug department. As the Martyrs can hit, and they are pretty damn cost efficient, like he needs the armor more than anything, because those Zarinis are scary to Stugs. They're not yet they're scary to Martyrs. They're not yet scary to Stugs on the other hand, and in this straight up brawl of a long range fight, you just need to be able to take shots. Preferably vodka runs.
Oh no, please! This is still a German division. This is schnapps, my boy. But you're right. You're right. I mean, the thing is that they're ambush predators. Like they come to you. Like your prey comes to you, and you strike at them from a distance. There's really not a whole lot of point to kind of being okay with this push otherwise. Folks torch on the south, kind of be brought on in. A third artillery position being brought here. Now we got Hetzers on the field. We have a lot of reduction, I think, happening between the 149s. They're just going to continue just to pound out. So there's the third one coming in here. He's going to be brought back. I love the spread of them. There's a massive amount of artillery coverage. Yeah, I think things are going to start to really turn against the 17th SS.
Yeah, Fantyx is just a huge amount of fire support, and also just geographically, if you look at the center, her Robert has his very nice forest position as well as a small forest position up north, where Fantyx can hit from here, from here, from here. He has a lot of very good angles of fire where he can potentially try and, break down her Robert's line.
True. And that line, despite the fact that he will be able to bring in a hefty amount of Pigren's, doesn't really get that much more heavy equipment. I mean,
get some Pac 43s to be fair, but 149mm artillery guns do a good job of stopping that.
Well, at long last, we actually are seeing a very effective naval warfare strike, suppressing 3 squads, killing one of them, and forcing him back. Third naval warfare being brought on in here as well. So between all of this artillery, the navals are being tasked. Oh no, everyone's trying to suppress everyone here. So, naval shootings to the north, 149s engaging all over the place, and I'm fascinated to see this first shell. He's just aiming over here, so he's not going to get it in time. Yeah, this is actually kind of crazy because there's been just enough movement from the artillery. Hey,
Oh,
Robert surrenders.
there we
Oh
go.
no,
Oh,
disconnected.
it's this.
Oh,
Oh, we had to cast a disconnected match.
oh,
Oh, I'm sorry, Robert. Damn. Okay. To be fair, I think her Robert was gonna lose that match long term. It's just a matter of
yeah,
if, not when.
yeah. Well, look at the kills. The kills by comparison, the stats. Like Fantyx, definitely getting some really, really solid kills here. Barely over a page for the 17th SS. Meanwhile, the Zrini's over here, very, very well done. The 149s had tons of suppression. Another Zrini got 5 kills right there. I agree with you. I think in the long term, this was a match that Fantex had to like almost force himself to lose.
Yeah, he just had that superior. Like that's a very effective how he traded. That's a double trade advantage. Yeah. If
Yes.
I can do the math. Indeed, okay, cool, I can do math. Yeah, but I think for her, Robert, what made it seem he was doing so good is that he had that town position and he just had like one or two of like the important flags which allowed him to grind down, and Fantyx was a bit slow to the ball trying to get those positions out. But apart from just, that one flamethrower dude in the town holding it down, there wasn't a whole lot of bite left in Robert's force.
I agree. I agree. But any other thoughts there, sir?
Oh,
Well, folks, in that case, then that's gonna do it for our monthly coverage over here. Until next time, I'm Con Ulrich.
I'm Rangru, take it easy.